Hey guys, it's Gavin here, and we are in downtown Santiago de Queretaro, live down here from the streets in central Mexico. And I am outside the Plaza de la Tecnología, which is basically the mercado of technology down here in Queretaro City. And so it's a very extensive building filled with all kinds of technology. So it's basically a mall. But not really like any mall you've ever seen in the United States. Hey everybody, Guacamole, Eric, Mark, everybody pop in there. Good to see you guys. And this isn't really like any mall you've seen in the United States because it's like a mercado, like I've shown you before, but everything technology. So rather than these great big stores, really expensive places and boutique malls, this is a very practical. They have malls here too, don't get me wrong, but this is a very practical, like technology centro. Interestingly enough, and fitting to the name, the cell service seems to work quite good in there. Hello everyone, good to see you. So let's peek inside and I'll show you guys La Plaza de Tecnología. So wow, what are those? Everything from phone repairs to computers to cases to video games, Pokemon cards, you name it. They've got it. A lot of used stuff, but new stuff too. When I first came in up here, big plaza, and when I came in up here, there was a store selling new computer parts, and of course there's lots of places selling phone cases. There's a Apple repair store, it looks like. When it started, and just gonna kind of walk through here. And so yeah, if you need anything repaired, fixed, or bought, and you'll find these kind of mercados just on the streets too. There's another repair. Lots of repair centers here. And so pretty much one of the things that you see more commonly in Mexico, I'm gonna switch over to the other door here. This is multiple floors. Here's a computer store selling new computer parts. There's a Ryzen. I just built a machine with a Ryzen for video editing, but let's see here. I mean, it's just everywhere. So it's like a mercado, but everything is computers and tech and games and anything you want. So there's multiple floors. I think there's 2 floors, and it's really kind of cool because it's just like this huge open mercado, but everything is tech related. One of the things you'll see that's common down here in Mexico is that you get things repaired. And so even whether it's in a place like this or even on the street, it's totally normal just to go in. You'll see repair shops everywhere, and you wouldn't see these level of repair shops in a mall in the USA. Just that's not how they do things there. Hola. And this place is huge. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tech shops, music stores, repair shops, and there's generally a culture of repairing things in Mexico. And so whether it's a computer or a phone or whatever you need, you can get it repaired. And that's one of the cool things. I mean, I had a dash cam recently that the port failed on, and in the States we would just throw that away, but here you take it to an electronics repair store and they tear into it and they find a part that works and they make it happen. And so that's something you see because of the more free economics that we have here going on in Mexico, and people just kind of doing their thing. So it's really cool. I don't know what they're paying for a spot. Obviously this is like a mall, so they're renting spaces in here, but I've never seen so many like repair stores, right? You'll be rarely find a repair store in a mall in Estados Unidos, but here you're gonna see a lot of them, and it's pretty cool. So for computers, now we're getting into clothes. Buenas tardes. ¿Ande? ¿Habla inglés, señor? Mi español es pobre. Solo ver la locación. Sí.
Es que nosotros nos dijeron que no pueden andar grabando a que tengan un permiso.
Oh, no, es okay. Es público. Es la Plaza de Tecnología. Es muchos celulares aquí. Buenas tardes, señor. I think he's afraid that I'm videoing the place for some nefarious reason. But isn't it funny? Like, this is something that you would see from security guards in the States too. Like, you literally have the Plaza of Technology, where there's 10,000 cameras and phones in here. Look, there's a security camera everywhere. Everywhere you go, there's cameras, right? And they're worried about the fact that somebody might be filming in here. So, to be fair, security guards in Mexico are usually much more polite. But yeah, he probably thinks I'm casing the joint. But you know what? People got to deal with it. This is the world of cameras, and the Plaza of Technology does not prohibit cameras if it's going to actually promote technology. But this is really cool. Probably because there's all these repair shops and casing the joint. They're always worried. They're super paranoid about security here. That's pretty common, and so it's strange because obviously, if somebody really wanted to do something nefarious, just like we deal with in the U.S., they wouldn't be publicly, going around showing everything, putting their face on the internet. But as you guys can see here, this is pretty cool. It's got 2 floors, but probably, it's going to be a little boring just to show you like every shop. I just thought it was a neat thing, and it just kind of goes to just the culture of trade that you see, and how much more prolific trade is. And so, honestly, I don't know if something like this exists in the U.S., but it's pretty cool because if you have a device that's broken or something like that, I mean, pretty much whatever you have, you're going to go in here and you're going to find a shop or 10 to fix it, right? And so, whereas in the States, things break and we just throw them away or give them to kids or whatever, right? Tear them apart, recycle them. Here, it's just the norm to repair, to fix things. And they're just very resourceful in that manner. I was kind of amazed, like with my dash cam, instead of buying a new one, I just had a guy tear into it and he fixed it right up. So we don't need to keep this long. I just wanted to kind of keep showing you guys different places down here on the streets of Real Mexico. It's crazy. I actually had to park way down there. Martes, I think this is Martes, is Monday. Or is it Lunes? I get them confused. This is Lunes or Martes. And when I drove around down here because I need to get some lunch, I had to run some errands here today, and it's traffic downtown. There's so many shops. There's so much going on. There's so much happening on the streets here. There's so much trade that it's just amazing. Whereas in our towns in the USA, we see very little comparatively, right? If I were to just walk around, I mean, the level of shops and restaurants and repair shops, appliance repair shops, the kind of stuff that you might have used to see normally in the USA back in maybe the 1970s, right? Little hardware stores everywhere. And the reason you see that here is because the trade hasn't all been restricted by government in every possible way. And so you'll see these shops that specialize in weird things. What makes it difficult is knowing where to go. If you know where to go, it's all about who you know here, and so we kind of have this cliche about Mexicans having a cousin or they know a guy, but here that's just the way it works, right? If you know a friend or somebody that specializes in a certain thing, you're going to refer people there, because not everything is on the internet, not everything is posted. And so you actually need to be able to kind of learn and ask around. And you can, of course, still order off Amazon and things like that. But if you really want to get out there and be able to go to the shops, you kind of got to learn where to go or who to ask, because there's just little shops everywhere. And sometimes literally the shops are little closets on the main street, right? They're little cutouts in a store that are 3 feet wide and just little tiny shops making keys or selling food. And so you'll see these shops just line the streets everywhere you go. I actually had to park way down yonder by the aqueduct and then take a cab down here because it was just so busy, and the van is big, and so it's really hard to park as it is. But Monday is just a madhouse market day here in Ciudad de Queretaro, and this is it's pretty cool. it's really neat. I just like stopping. Have you ever stopped in a U.S. town and you walk around, and most of the storefronts are either big corporations or little boutique shops, and so frankly, walking around tends to get boring, right? When you go to the mall, there's an herb shop. When you go to the mall, it's just there's another herb shop right next door. When you go to the mall in the States, it's mostly brands and boutiques and expensive stuff. It's not necessarily where you go for practical things, whereas here, the street side shops are just where people go to get everything from a steak to a fried chicken to a new blouse. So you're gonna see anything and everything down in these big towns. And there's markets like this all over the place. And market streets, mercados, specializing in different things. And so this one's kind of neat in that here you have the Mercado of Technology that specializes in technology, and dang, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of shops in there. It was pretty cool, and just thought we'd take a look. That's another view of Santiago de Queretaro, and just the streets down here in Rio Mexico. You can see everybody just doing their thing. It's a busy Monday, which is kind of one of the big market days. And one of the things here is, sometimes people think you're doing something odd, like that security guard, and they'll come and they'll fuss at you a little bit. But everything is not hostile. Everything is not aggressive in force, right? The police aren't allowed to get away with that, and security guards are kind of the same way, right? You can just talk to people as human beings, and if you have a problem, you deal with it. And it doesn't mean that they don't ever do dumb stuff or make up dumb rules, because they're into fake security here as much as pretty much anywhere. But you know what? It's the mindset of people. And so while the people in the USA pretend they're free and say, oh, go try what you do with Mexican cops, I'm like, well, I've already done that, but it wasn't a problem because that's normal here. Nobody was offended by me questioning a police officer or security guard, because here, by and large, it's still legal to say no. And so as the USA funds and backs the war on drugs and border war and trampling of individual freedoms and constitutions across the American continent, there are places where people are still saying, screw it, I'm just gonna live and I don't care what anybody else says. There's lots of room for growth down here, but one reason that you can see hope is people still have the freedom to trade, they still have the freedom to work, to walk around, and they still have the freedom to say no. As you can see, it is booming busy down here, almost bumper to bumper, which is why I parked way over there, and just hopped a taxi downtown here to look around. I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna go get some food. Just wanted to show you the Mercado de Tecnología, and if you're down in Querétaro City, in Querétaro State, and you like technology like I do, well, might be a good place to come visit, because there's a lot of stuff in one place. But the truth is, you can pick pretty much any street in a Mexican town, and you're going to find food, you're going to find trade, and you're going to find just people living their life. All right, guys, hope you have a good day. Spread the word. Peace out. Love your neighbor. Talk soon.